Okay. Welcome to the Elyria Board of Education meeting for June 23rd, 2021. I call this meeting to order. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Ms. Karstafen?
Here.
Mr. Bax?
Here.
Mr. Ellick?
Here.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Here.
And Ms. Sequin?
Here.
Thank you. As soon as our treasurer is prepared for us, I would ask that you would join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Would you please join me? I pledge of allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Flag
of
of
the
the United States of America
and
to
to
the
the
republic
and to the
which it
republic
stands,
which it
one
stands,
nation, under God, indivisible,
Indivisible, with liberty
and
and justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. At this time, we will have introductions. My fellow board members are Greg Ellick. All right. Hi, Greg. Mike Gebhardt. Elaine Seguin.
Hello.
Vice President. Hi, how are you, Elaine? Vice President Jim Bax. I am Annie Karstafen. We have Superintendent Ann Sloss. And we have our treasurer, Joy Clickinger. Okay, moving forward, we will move on to board member discussion items. Are there any discussion items from board members tonight? I do have one, just to remind you all that our July meeting will be back in person for July. Okay, so.
Right.
All right. Yeah, just wanted to bring that to your attention so that you can prepare yourself for July to be back in person, okay? Alrighty, for item F, which is meeting minutes. The minutes have been posted. Hopefully you've had the opportunity to review them. Could I please have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Motion to approve the minutes.
That motion was made by Elaine Seguin. I heard you first. Could I please have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Mr. Greg Ellick. Are there any questions? No questions? Okay. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Sequin?
Aye.
Mr. Ellick?
Aye.
Mr. Bax?
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt?
Aye.
And Ms. Karstafen?
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Okay, moving forward, we have the G, which is treasurer action items.
Thank you, Madam President. I have I'm sorry?
Thank you.
I have my monthly financial report for May. I have the purchase order procedure to, in order to comply with our district's purchasing procedures. We also have the board's portion of the insurance rates listed for approval. This year we were able to get by, I should say, with a 2% increase. We had a good claims year. We are self-funded. That's why it's important to us, but there's a lot of question yet. Of course, there was last year. We didn't know what the pandemic would do. And this year, we don't know if people put off procedures during the pandemic that will hit next year. But we've got a 2% increase going into this year, and we'll see what that brings.
Was that what you expected?
We did, as about midway through the year, at the beginning of the year, last year, we just really didn't know. And 2%, our claims were down considerably. I mean, a 2% increase is almost unheard of in medical premiums at this point. But the other thing you might notice is you'll see that the classified staff, that the board pays 87.5. And then and we're not done negotiating with that group. I'll just say it that way. And the certified and administrators, we are done negotiating with the teachers for the upcoming year. And we are paying 86% of that group, those groups.
Okay.
And those are my items for this evening.
Okay. Could I please have a motion to approve the items recommended by the treasurer?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Mr. Gephardt. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bax. Any other questions? No questions. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mr. Elick,
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. H is treasurer other.
All right, I am hoping that you received my email this afternoon explaining to you the situation. But yeah, I am really struggling with their software conversion. You do now have all the reports. And if we need a special meeting, we can do that. If you all want to spend more time with those reports, the spreadsheet that I did show you or did send to you, and let me show you how. Let me just show you. Hang on just a second. Okay, if you can see the spreadsheet, this is what we put together, and you can see all the funds listed here. These are our special revenue funds. Then it goes on for debt service. We've got our capital project funds. We have enterprise funds. We have internal service funds, and we have trust and agency funds. Each one of those funds, you can see a column that goes across the top, and either a column or a combination of the columns does make up all the reports that are listed here. You did not get the fancy ones. Here's my little secret to being an award winner is if you look way over to the side, I've developed this spreadsheet. And if any of my numbers don't line up according to these revised codes, then I get a little X in the box. And that tells me I still need to do some work on that fund. So anyway, you can see here that we are clear, but everything is in this spreadsheet. And then you received a little bit later on each and every one of the, of these reports that pull them out and make them look more legible. So again, I apologize. We really did struggle with getting reports out, and it's been a struggle. That's all I can say. I believe we've got everything in line now, and I am asking you to approve the advances and transfers. Let me stop this a second. The advances and transfers, the permanent appropriation modifications, the amended certificate for 21, and then some of the startups for 22, the temporary appropriations, the amended certificate of estimated resources, and those are the items that I have for this evening.
Okay, thank you. Could I please have a motion to approve the treasurer's items as presented?
Move to approve.
A motion by Mr. Bax. Could I please have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Gephardt. Are there any questions? I do have one question. When you, not with the report, but the actual fact of getting the report, was it the problem of getting used to the software that made it so difficult,
Well, that was the first part. Then the second part there's just little tricks to it, right? So when I go to run a report that includes all the funds, and that's the way I used to do it on the old system. And you'd put in your parameters, hit go, and out would pop a report. Well, with this system, if you do all of the funds at the same time, like I was used to doing it, and I kept the time. It literally takes 10 minutes per report. Now, I know that doesn't sound very long, but if you run a report and it's not in the order that you want it, or if you need to tweak it somehow, and then you go to run another one, if you do that 3 times, you've got a whole half hour tied up in that, And so that's where I struggled, was just learning how to just break it down to smaller pieces so that it would run a little bit faster. Because anyway, that was my deal.
okay. All right. I'm sorry for the inconvenience there. Okay. Thank you. All righty. No other questions? Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Elick,
I'll have to abstain. I did not have time this afternoon at this late notice to look over the report, so I'll abstain.
all right. Mrs. Segwin
I have to abstain too. I just opened them a half hour ago.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries. And then we'll move on to, is there a treasurer report? No other report. We'll go on to OFCC, OSFC, and facility construction report.
Okay, and the only item on that is to approve the Westwood abatement and roofing GMP with AECom as was detailed in the agenda.
Okay. All righty. Could I please have a motion to approve the OFCC?
Motion to approve.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Elick. Do I have a second?
Second.
Who was it?
Mike,
I didn't do it. I
Mr.
started.
Gebhardt.
Hi, Letty Lane.
I didn't even do it, so it's all yours. I just
Okay,
started.
Mr. Bax. Thank you, Mr. Bax. All right.
Okay.
Thank you,
Are
though.
there any questions on the Westwood abatement GMP? No questions there. All right, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye. Thank you, Madam Treasurer, for your reports this evening. We will now move on to the superintendent for first superintendent action items.
Thank you so much, Madam President. And I might get out of breath. We have quite a few here, so bear with me. First of all, the first few are annual contracts. First with the Education Service Center with the PEP contract, to approve that contract, to approve the Life Care Wheelchair Transportation contract, to approve the contract for the Secretariat Open Door through Auxiliary Services, to approve the contract for the Special Olympics Assistant for next year, to approve the purchase order to Martin Public Seating for $570,000 through the ESSER grants. We are buying additional furniture for the classrooms so that we can space students out more. A lot of the classrooms have tables, and with the pandemic, it's something we feel will prepare us in the future, and it's an allowable expense through ESSER grant. Also, to approve the payment of the following stipends below. To approve the payment of stipends for the CPI intervention as listed below. To authorize the superintendent to enter into contracts for the 21-22 school year with the special education services of non-resident students with the excess cost contracts. To approve the Meta Solutions Master Agreement for fiscal year 22. To approve the El Centro Elyria School Bilingual Liaison, which we will have next year again, working with our bilingual population. And that concludes my action items.
Thank you, Madam Superintendent. Could I please have a motion to approve the items recommended by the superintendent as presented?
So moved.
Thank you, Elaine. May I please have a second by Mr. Gephardt? Thank you. Are there any questions? No questions? Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mr. Elick,
Aye.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Personnel actions recommended by the superintendent.
Thank you. First of all, we have a retirement. Gail Jacobs teaches over at Westwood. I don't know, some of you may remember Gail when she did the ABLE, the GED in Gordon Dupree's office, but she's been a teacher at Westwood for 16 years, so we wish her well. We also have need the approval of resignation of the following certified staff. To approve the unpaid leave of absence of the following certified staff member. As you know, we're hiring for some of the retirements. To approve the appointment of the following certified staff is listed below. To approve the supplemental contracts of the following certified staff. These are most of the fall and some of the winter. To approve the athletic supplemental tracks for the following certified staff is listed below. And classified staff, I'm sorry. To approve the following payment to work rental events for the following staff member. To approve the stipend for up to 20 hours at the employee's hourly rate. For over the summer, the high school counselors come in if there's new students or scheduling needs. They come in for extra hours. To approve the stipend payment for up to 20 hours at the employee's hourly rate for summer programming as listed below. We had one more stipend payment for the extended summer learning for Jeannie Williams. To approve the payment of up to 5 days before the start of the 21-22 school year for the home education packets. Mr. Hill takes care of that every year for us. To approve the payment of up to 10 days at the employee's per diem rate for attending court dates for some of our students. To approve the stipend of up to 5 days on the per diem out of ESSER for summer programming throughout the summer. To approve the following settlement agreement as listed. To approve the revision of the resolution 2163, changing the date from July 2nd to July 9th for the high school extended learning. We had previously approved it. We needed to amend that. To approve the resignation of the following classified staff members. To approve the reclassification of the following classified staff. We had one custodian leave, so through moving around, we had these 4 changes. To approve the appointment of the following classified staff for summer interns. To approve the classified job description for the EMIS and accountability coordinator, which you approved at the last meeting. To approve the $2 per hour stipend for the following food service workers to help us continue our food service over the summer. And that concludes my personnel action items.
Thank you.
I made it.
Thank you. Could I please have a motion to approve the personnel items as recommended by the superintendent?
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Elliott. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gephardt. Are there any questions?
Yeah, I missed a couple. Could you read those again?
No. I do have one question. How is it coming
Yes.
with the summer food service workers? Are you getting a pretty good response?
We are much better. I think we have what we need. We actually opened it up to some of the other classified parapros, and we had a few of them take advantage of it. So I think we're good.
Oh, good.
We
Very
were happy. The $2 seemed to help. So
good. Are there any other questions? Okay, thank you. Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick,
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Do we have a superintendent's report tonight?
just two things. First of all, I do want to publicly thank the National Guard for all their help with the food pantry over the last over a year. We just had our last one on Monday with them, and they've just been great to work with. But I will say the Elyria staff comes through. We are the only pantry, according to Second Harvest, that fully staffs it with our own staff. So that shows you how our staff members go above and beyond. And then also wanted to give you an update, our extended learning, summer extended learning is going very well. We had a few bumps the first day with buses and everything, but we have 300 students at the high school taking advantage of credit recovery and getting some courses in, which is our largest amount in a long time. So kudos to all the academic service department and the principals and teachers for helping out, but it's going well so far. So thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Board of Education. Hopefully you've seen the board policy for second reading. Could I please have a motion to approve the second reading of the Board of Education, the reading and adoption of the following board policies? May I have have a motion by Mr. Jim Bax. Could I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gebhardt. Are there any questions or comments? I'm sorry. Are there any questions? Okay. Madam Treasurer, it's on you.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Elick,
Aye.
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries. Let me see, what else do we have? Is there an executive session tonight?
No.
No.
No executive session. Is there anything else to come before the board? I just want to say that there was an email that came out from Attorney Howard Lang. Want to make sure that you all read the email that came out today from our attorney, okay?
This was from who, I'm sorry?
From Attorney Howard Lang.
Oh, yes.
Okay, right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Alrighty. If there's nothing else to come before this board tonight, could I please have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All righty, Mr. Elliott, could I please have a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Gebhardt. If nothing else, Madam Treasurer, would you please call the roll?
Mr. Elick,
Aye.
Mr. Gebhardt,
Aye.
Mr. Bax,
Yes.
Mrs. Segwin,
Aye.
and Ms. Karstafen.
Aye, thank you. Motion carry and you are adjourned.
All right.
Thank you,
All right.
everybody.
Thanks.
Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.